Okay, getting everything set up for another episode of WWOW Talk. Doing my audio test first and waiting for Beam to kick in. Just started Rumble Studios, and Rumble Studios should have X Pro and D Live starting up now. Uh, Beam stream just started, so I'm gonna go to my channel page and listen. So it sounds good. And Beam, going to take that back to my Rumble Studio or my Beam Studio, however they call that. Let me see. I'm gonna have to hit refresh on regular Rumble so that I can see if WoW Talk has started there. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, I'm getting everything set up now, but here in a minute it should be good to go. It looks like it's started on X, but I'm gonna have to hit refresh on that one too. So I had some issues yesterday with my gaming, and it caused some issues on my computer. So I'm really gonna have to be careful today when it comes to streaming. Make sure everything is in order and working the way it's supposed to be working. So okay, X has good audio there. I'm still not getting anything from Rumble at the moment. D Live is up. D Live sounds good. Twitch is up. Twitch sounds good. Kick is up. And Kick sounds good. Now let's go to YouTube, see how that sounds. Okay, so sounds like that. Sounds like that one sounds good too. So Rumble is finally up. Okay, so Rumble sounds good too. So I have got that going. I probably should. I probably don't have to start doing setup a half an hour before the hour. It is pretty amazing how fast this all starts out. I'm really surprised at how fast it is. But I don't know. It just seems better to be prepared that way. Freaking, I know that everything is up and running and in perfect order. So let's get started. Now I've been showcasing Mr. Robot's music for the last week on all of the different streams I've been doing. I don't know if I've done any of them here on Wild Talk, but I can put some of it out here. I've been doing a lot from Austin and old John Clark, however you call him. I usually call him John, but I've been doing their music a lot on the other ones, but I haven't really had a chance to really put any of Mr. Robot stuff out until here recently. Now, if you guys want to find out where to go to listen to his music, he usually does his streams on Rumble as Killuminati or Killuminati. I always have a hard time saying that word. As you can tell, I'm a bad enunciator. But that's where you can find him on there. If you can't find him, just reach out to me. I can give you the links to help you out. We're also on Elements Chat if you guys are interested. We've changed minds.com's chat for the Elements Matrix over to the actual Elements platform, so you can find us there together. I also have Live with Roger Hanson on there as well as WoW Talk. So there is a place for anybody who wants to go onto Elements uh, that is strictly for the wonderful world of weirdness. We've got our own chat group there, so you're more than welcome to go there. You can go on Skype, and you can also go on Discord. We're on all three of those. So feel free to join us if you guys want to. On X, on my account there, which is Roger Hanson at ROGLOL1973. If you go into my description, you'll find, or the About Me section, I guess you'd say, you can find the link to the Elements chat on there. So that's for future reference if anybody really even cares. You know what I mean? But that's up to you. Now, I just put a new song. Well, not really a new song. It's something that Mr. Robot sent me a little while ago that I wanted to share, and I think it's appropriate. So it's Mr. Robot came out with "Totally Addicted to Bass," and I wanted to go ahead and put that on and let it play. It gave me a chance to see how the audio sounds on this, as well as give me a chance to slip away, get some coffee, and smoke a cigarette, and be ready for the top of the hour when I start the show. So let me go ahead and do that.
It's been too long and I feel the need. I got two pale hands and my head hanging low. Body shaking from my need again. There is nothing to do but turn up the gate. From my feet and buzzes to my brain. I look up at the stage, getting ready for the show. Around me a crowd, we all in the know. We all hunger for the beast below. Listen to the speakers, I feel I'm in my place. You can just tell by looking at my face. Dancing with no disgrace. I'm totally addicted to bass. Whoa, the bass line shooting up my spine. Addicted to bass. Yeah. Totally addicted to bass. The city hums with a low-end glow. A pulse that only the night can show. It's in the walls, it's in the air. A vibration that pulls me everywhere. I'm chasing shadows, I'm chasing sound. A frequency that turns the world around. It's not just me, it's in the crowd. We're all addicted, totally addicted. Bass, 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 bass. Totally addicted to bass. Totally addicted to bass.
That bass line filling up my mind.
In the dark, the bass line calls, it breaks the silence. It breaks the walls of primal force.
It's been too long and I feel the need. I got two pale hands and my head hanging low. Body shaking from my need again. There is nothing to do but turn up the gate. From my feet and buzzes to my brain. I look up at the stage, getting ready for the show. Around me a crowd, we all in the know. We all hunger for the beast below. Listen to the speakers, I feel I'm in my place. You can just tell by looking at my face. Dancing with no disgrace. I'm totally addicted to bass. The bass line shooting up my spine. Addicted to bass. Yeah. Totally addicted to bass. The city hums with a low end glow. A pulse that only the night can show. It's in the walls, it's in the air. A vibration that pulls me everywhere. I'm chasing shadows, I'm chasing sound. A frequency that turns the world around. It's not just me, it's in the crowd. We're all addicted, totally addicted. Bass, 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 bass. Totally addicted to bass. Totally addicted to bass.
That bass line filling up my mind.
In the dark, the bassline calls, it breaks the silence. It breaks the walls of primal force. I can't ignore it, it's in my blood. It's in my core, I'm lost in the echo. I'm found in the beat, a rhythm that makes me feel complete. It's more than sound, it's more than time, it's the universe.
so I am back. We have 15, just a little bit under 15 more minutes to go. So what I'm going to do, since I know that Luke maybe twice, not quite sure, but I'm gonna put a couple of other ones on here until the beginning of the hour. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's actually a pretty good song. I forgot about it altogether. Now, he has quite a few of them, but the one that I really haven't been able to showcase the most, or like the other ones, is this one, and I'm going to put this one on. It's called Celestial Blueprint. I will put another one on afterwards. I just need to go grab some coffee. Drank my cup down pretty low, so it's almost empty. I have to fill it back up. So I'm going to put this on, and I hope you guys enjoy this. And I will be back to put maybe one, maybe two more songs on so you guys can enjoy them before the hour. So here we go.
In 20 years, a block every 2 minutes. Hieroglyphs scream their pride, but not a how and what's written. Modern science scratches heads. These structures can't be mimicked. Copper tools, now scholars tripping. Logic thinly stretched and twisted. Ran an obelisk, 1,000 tons dragged across the sand. Today's cranes can't lift a fifth. What force movement by hand? Call the ancients primitive. Yo, that's pure delusion. Physicists today need miracles to crack their fusion. The high priest of Kemet mapped the stars with precision, while modern minds stay chained to 3D prison. Land of the lost, esoteric Egypt, hidden with an allegorical crypt, written in the language of symbolism, advanced knowledge cloaked in simple living secrets that rewrite history's episode. As above, so below, the hermetic code, key of life unlocks the heavenly abode. Conscious matrix, alchemy pyramid ode. The sphinx wears water scars, a flood from ancient skies. Explosives crack the pyramids, no tombs, just hollow lies. Money stolen, nah, that's ego talk, a weak hypothesis. Truths buried in the stars, encrypted in the myths. Sacred geometry, pagan songs, the roots of Christendom. Pythagoras knelt at their feet, Jesus learned the kingdom. Temples mirror Orion, Aztecs trace the same glow. Megalithic GPS, what's buried below. They split the lotus stem, hid wisdom at the core. Solomon's temple, just a copy of what came before. Land of the lost, esoteric Egypt, hidden with them allegorical crypts, written in the language of symbolism, advanced knowledge cloaked in simple living secrets that rewrite history's episode. As above, so below, the hermetic code, key of life unlocks the heavenly abode. Conscious matrix, alchemy pyramid ode. Iron to gold, alchemy's flame, they mastered the unseen. Telekinetic levitation, Mars dust in their genes. Critics laugh, aliens, but the proof's in the plasma. Why is the Dogon tribe no serious? Was a binary drama. Myths and metaphors, the truth's too bright to hold. Scattered in ruins worldwide, a map etched in gold. They call themselves Negeru, gods with cosmic ships, gifted fire, math, and law, then dipped beyond the eclipse. Now academia's gatekeepers mock what they can't measure, but the scales of Ma'at weigh soul, not tech or treasure. The Zek had been gone when gods walked as king, left blueprints in Gobekli Tepe and the Nazca line. The unrotated truth burns through the scholar's denial. We're echoes of starlight reclaiming our trial.
When you stare at the sky, feel the ache in your chest. That's ancestral memory. We're all cosmic guests. The pyramids home of him, rising corporate divine. As above, so below, till the world's realigned.
Land of the lost, esoteric Egypt, the truth's a spiral, eternity straight. Language of symbolism, with gods we've been missing.
Okay, so that was another one that was called Celestial Blueprints. Now there is another one that hasn't been getting very much playtime, which I think I can put on here, which is good. This is from Mr. Robot, and it's called The Thistler. Now, like I said, if you guys want to hear his music, he does mixes on Rumble. He goes by Columinati. And if you need help finding them, just let me know, and I can send you or aim you in the right direction. I also want to say thanks to Mark from Dragus Production too. He's been doing a lot of things for helping us and supporting us. So appreciate that. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one from Mr. Mr. Robot. It's called The Thistler.
Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Thrust 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. Thrust 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles. Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Mr. Robot rolled round. Mr. Robot rolled round. And if Mr. Robot rolled and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Here is an exercise demonstrating the union of in at the end of words. Dividing and gliding and sliding and falling and brawling and sprawling and driving and driving and striving. Dividing and gliding and sliding and falling and brawling and sprawling and driving and driving and driving. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. 30,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles. Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Mr. Robot rolled round. Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, and if Mr. Robot rolled around and rolled round, where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Where is the round roll? Mr. Robot rolled round. Hardly had his Hail Highness heard the easy hedgehog when he hit the humming bee by the hunter who had horrible beetles in the human hall. I love to hear the horse's hard iron hooves go hammer, 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 hammer on the easy highway. I hit my horse hard. I'm going around to hunt up hogs. Theophilus Thistler. Theophilus Thistler. Theophilus Thistler. Theophilus Thistler. Theophilus Thistler. Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter, is sifting a sieve full of unsifted thistles. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. 3,000 thistles through the thick of his thumb. Theophilus Thistler. Theophilus, this slur, the thistle sifter.
All right, so now I have 2 minutes, but there's just one small problem. I have forgotten to go get my coffee. I went ahead and I freaking put songs up for the channel, and I completely forgot to go in there and grab myself a cup of coffee. So that's something that's going to have to be rectified. I'm going to start this one. It's called Dre, the one, and I'm going to play it through and let you guys listen to it. And I just had a hiccup because of the coffee. But while I'm gone, you guys can listen to this. I'll come back and I will start the show. So here we go.
Keep it moving, coming right into the prime time. I do not think I belong on the sideline. Oh, you don't like my style? Okay, likewise. Hit me bye-bye. Do not try to cross me if you're in your right mind. See me shine bright, shining like a supernova, lighting up the night sky. Put me in the limelight, like-minded people stay connected like I'm Wi-Fi. Only pushing bangers like it is my 9-5. No, I'm never lazy when I write rhymes. People give me high fives. Always deliver, cause that is my style. So what you know about it? Think that you can do it like I doubt it. I do it like that. Drop another banger, then I bring it right back. Right into the hit song just for fun. They can't do it like me because I am the one. I am the one. So come along as I show the people how it's done. I don't want a lot, I just want to be the number one. I'm coming from places I do not belong. Rise against the wind, never lazy, keep on going strong. I don't know, it just happens like that. Could drop a bad song, but I don't have the patience for that. I'm sorry, I can't help it, I'm just keeping it clean. Look at these people bouncing, see what I mean? I don't mean to, I do this just for fun. But I guess I am just, well, you know, the one. I do it like that. Drop another banger, then I bring it right back. Right into the hit song just for fun. They can't do it like me because I am the one. I am the one. So what you know about that?
Okay, so we are at the top of the hour, and it is time for another episode of WWOW Talk. I'm Roger Hanson, and today I'm going to be starting off where I left off with the Yggdrasil. Now, before I get started, though, with that, I do want to point out some things that I have gone over and noticed on the channel that I need to point out. So far, by the way it looks, we are doing good when it comes to what we've been getting for views and everything. and all of our views since I started taking over on doing all of this has been organic. Okay, and what that means is that none of it is promoted. And when I say promoted, what I'm talking about is there's usually an option where you can pay money for views, and that's what I'm referring to when I say promoted. None of my content is promoted whatsoever. So when you see views on our channel, you're seeing the actual views. You're seeing what people have actually seen it, not the amount of money that's been put into the videos and to bring the views up. Okay. Now, for that, we've been doing pretty good, and here in the last 6 months, I'd say within the 6 months, within a 6 month 1 year period, I've had to go through and delete a lot of videos off of YouTube that I really didn't want to do it because of a situation with Creative Commons where when you put somebody else's content on your channel, you have to have a conversation or a discussion or something that alters the video. Well, we had tons and tons of videos that were on there that didn't have that, and they kept getting hit for Creative Commons issues. So eventually, what I had to do is delete that. I also went in and I cleaned up all of the comments in the comments section and ended up doing it from scratch. The only comments that were left was like the achievements that happened on YouTube, messages that John had put out, things of that nature, but everything else that wasn't related to the wonderful world of weirdness got taken off. So that kind of set us back on the analytics. And so far, it looks like we've been doing good. The only time that we've had issues in the last 6 months, I think the worst part was when I had to do uploads. And this is where the thing is that I have to bring it up. No matter what, I'm going to let you guys know there's going to be content put on that channel. Okay. It upset a few people. Quite a few people did leave because of it, but there's something that I have to say. I'm sorry to see you go, but content has to go up. All right. And it's going to continue to go up. And I have so many other projects that I'm doing right now that I don't have the time to manage my scheduling when it comes to these videos. So when I go in and I do uploads and I schedule them, there's going to be a lot of them. So the best thing I can say for anybody who has a problem with that and still wants to watch the videos and watch everything when they come out is turn the notifications off. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be a lot of them. And if you come onto the channel and everything and you're a regular, you will get our channel's videos in your recommendations on your main YouTube channel. So just keep that in mind. Don't worry about having notifications. I just don't want people to become upset because I have tons and tons of videos that are being scheduled on there. And like I said, I have no other choice. I have to do that because I do have other shows that I put on the internet. If you're not on YouTube and you're on like Kick or you're on Twitch or Rumble even. Well, maybe not Rumble as much, but DLive or X, you'll know that I have like different videos with different topics and stuff. And those actually go on different channels too, so, for YouTube and Rumble. So just be aware of that. I have other projects that I do that don't pertain to the wonderful world of weirdness. It's like I've even got my own channel that goes along those lines called Strange Stories. It used to be called The Strange, the Bizarre, the Unusual. I like it, but the name was too long, so I changed it to Strange Stories. But I have that one too, which I've been working with as well as working with the wonderful world of weirdness. So I've got a lot of things going on here. And like I said, this channel, even though it doesn't have all of the amazing views like it had in the previous or in the past, it still does get views, and it's still going to get views because I'm going to post content on here for people if they want to watch it or if they don't. If you don't want to watch it, I don't want you to be upset. Just move on. You know what I mean? Because I don't like getting on YouTube and watching stuff that don't pertain to my likes or my dislikes, and that's one reason why I try to keep things at an organic reach kind of situation, because whenever you promote videos, that's kind of what you're doing. You're pushing content on people who aren't even interested in the stuff that you're putting on there. And I don't want to do that. So, and plus, organic reach is way, way better than promoting content any day, So with that being said, I'd like to say thank you to those who do support the channel, and on all of the platforms too. That's Rumble, that's Beam, that's also X, also D Live, Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. So I thank you guys all for your support and everything. And with that, I guess I can stop talking about the wonderful world of Weirdness's business side of things. I try to put in a time in my WOW talks to where I can go over what's going on with the channel, because I want to say it again, and I mean this to every single one of you, the ones especially who's been on this channel from the beginning, okay? This is a community-based channel. That means that if you guys want to be on this channel and make your own streams, you are more than welcome to. If you just want to do an episode where you want to come on, you are more than welcome to, because you are a part of the community and you're a part of us. So that's very important. That's something that I wish a lot of people who are into this channel would get. You can come in here and you can speak your mind. I know I've heard a lot of people talk about the old paranormal videos that were put out. If you want to come on the channel and you want to discuss that, you are more than welcome to. You know what I mean? If you have a solution to where we could do that again, then you're more than welcome to do it. If you want to start your own show, you're more than welcome to. I am just putting the content up. If you can't stream, I am a good cameraman. Okay, well, I'm a decent one. So take that into consideration. I will sit and I will stream for you so that you can have your own show every week if you want it. But you just have to let me know that you want to do it. Anybody who is a part of this community is welcome on here to do whatever they want to do anytime. Just let me know. So with that being said, I guess I have mentioned two things that I didn't think I was going to mention, but it is important to bring that up because we've already had Austin Todd and Summer Todd on here. They've done a great show. They're still doing a great show, and we've had quite a few other people who've come on as guests. So just understand, we are a community-based channel, which means that you guys are welcome to come on and put your shows on here too. So with that being said, I am going to continue the topic where I left off. Now, like I said, in last week, I was talking about the Havamal, according to the Norse and Indo-European traditions. A lot of the stuff here lately that I have been talking about does relate to Indo-European, Indo-Aryan language systems. And I'm doing that for a reason because in the stuff that I've been researching, that's the final area that I've been going through and wanting to get more involved in is discussing Indo-European linguistics. and what words mean historically, and things of that nature. And to be honest, this is like the next step in history when it comes to researching and finding out stuff. This is the good stuff. It's just like with archaeologists. Okay, everybody knows what an archaeologist is, but they don't understand that's not a scientific field. That's a linguistics field. So they're a part of the linguistics area of research. They're not a part of the scientific field. Now, when you start getting into like ancient DNA and you start getting into scientific models and stuff like that, that is science. But like the actual groundwork, translating the languages and stuff, that's all a part of the linguistics, and that's a separate area all to itself. So just a little bit of tidbit of information. Um, like I was saying, I was discussing the Havamal and in the Norse history. I would usually put something like this on ancient mysteries, but I've said it previously. I have this thing about where I want to put ancient mysteries. When it comes to ancient mysteries, I want it to be in the BCE era. And I know that usually doesn't fit in when it comes to different cultures and different areas of the world, but that's just the way I am about it. So what I want to do is I want to start off where I left off, and I want to bring up the term Asker Yggdrasil. Now, when I say Asker, it's spelled ASKR and then Yggdrasil. For anybody who wants to know how to spell Yggdrasil, it's YGGDRASILL. Now, that's probably the last time I'm going to spell it, but if I have to, I'll spell it again. But that's what I'm talking about, the Asker Yggdrasil. Now, it's often translated as the ash tree Yggdrasil. Now, ash tree and the word ash is something that's interesting for me, particularly this week, because here in the last week, I've been having conversations in chat which mention the word ash in the Christian religion. It was a proverb out of the Bible, which was an interesting conversation because just last week I'd gone over the ash tree of and Yggdrasil and Odin sacrificing himself on the ash tree for divine understanding, and I thought that was interesting. And then there was another place where the ash tree came up, and it was a part of something else. I can't remember what it was, but I thought that was interesting. So the Asker Yggdrasil is often translated as the ash tree Yggdrasil. Now, it's a key symbol in Norse mythology. It represents the world tree, and the world tree is a cosmic axis that's supposed to connect the 9 worlds. Now, in order to interpret this term through a pre-Indo-European, Indo-Aryan lens, what we have to do is delve into the symbolism of the tree, its linguistic roots, and how the concept of a sacred tree may have appeared in pre-Indo-European societies. Okay? So in Old Norse, the word asker, which is ASKR, refers to an ash tree, like I'd said. Now, the ash tree, as a sacred and central symbol, was often associated with life, growth, and the cosmic order. Now, the ash tree is considered a world tree, a concept that is deeply rooted in animistic traditions, where trees are seen as sacred beings with spiritual significance. This belief system existed long before the Indo-European migrations and is likely part of the pre-Indo-Aryan worldview. Now, I had a misunderstanding of those two terms, Indo-European migrations and the pre-Indo-Aryan and the Indo-Aryan words. Okay, at one time I thought that it was one and the same, and that what they had done is they wanted to be politically correct and they changed the name, but that isn't the case. There's actually two separate things going on there. You know what I mean? And I do want to point that out. So just so people are understanding that they're two separate things. So in the pre-Indo-Aryan languages, the ash tree or similar trees like the ash tree would have had a spiritual significance tied to their role in the landscape. Now, trees were often seen as gateways between different realms, representing both life and death, a connection between the material world and the spiritual realms, things of that nature. Now, the ash tree, being particularly tall and enduring, would have symbolized stability, eternity, and spiritual transcendence. Okay? Trees, particularly large, enduring trees, like the ash tree, were often thought of as the central axis mundi, the world axis that connects the heavens, earth, and the underworld. Now, in pre-Indo-Aryan cultures, sacred groves were often sites of spiritual power and communication with the divine. The ash tree, as part of these groves, would have held immense significance in rituals. Now, the ash tree could also be seen as a tree of life, an archetype present in many ancient cultures, which represent the flow of life through all realms, right? Now, the name Yggdrasil itself is complex and may not have had an exact pre-Indo-Aryan equivalence, but it carries deep symbolic meaning, okay? The name Yggdrasil is usually interpreted as Yag's horse, which is YGG, and then Yag's horse, or Odin's horse. But its components can also be analyzed through the lens of pre-Indo-Aryan symbolism as well. Now, the name Yag, which is YGG, is one of Odin's many epithets, which can be associated with a spirit of the dead or shamanic guide. The word Yag could be connected to the idea of a guide or leader of the dead, a figure that helps souls pass through different realms. Now, the second part of the name Drasil, which is Drasill, is often interpreted as horse, symbolizing a spiritual mount or vehicle. Now, in pre-Indo-Aryan traditions, animals were frequently used as symbols of transformation or spiritual guides, with horses often being seen as the vehicle that carries the soul between the physical and the spiritual worlds. Now, pre-Indo-Aryan cultures likely had an axis mundi that was a tree or sacred structure connected to heavens, earth, and the underworld. Now, this would be the center of the world where all realms intersected. The world tree served as the focal point of existence, much like the sacred tree or mountain in pre-Indo-Aryan belief systems. I was getting ready to say the mountain, the tree, like the sacred tree or mountain, because usually the tree and the mountain are connected, and that was something that I had started this year's episodes of Strange Stories with, was Mount Fuji and the Suicide Forest. And like whenever I go through this stuff and I hear about it and the connection between the mountains and the trees, it just kind of it resonates on that whole story. You know what I mean? So if you guys ever get a chance, go back over to Strange Stories, watch my first episodes this year for that, because I was talking about Mount Fuji and the Suicide Forest. And it's just really amazing when it comes to how they're connected. They're interconnected between the sacred mountains, and the sacred trees. So now, in pre-Indo-Aryan languages, the phrase "Asker Yggdrasil" could be interpreted as the sacred tree that connects the realms, or the tree that supports the world. This would be in line with ancient beliefs about the interconnectedness of all things, and the idea that a single central tree or structure could connect different planes of existence. Now, the tree would have been seen not just as a physical entity, but as a spiritual conduit or axis through which the divine energies flowed. This interpretation ties into the broader animistic and shamanistic worldview of pre-Indo-Aryan societies, where natural forces like trees, rivers, and mountains were seen as alive and imbued with spiritual power. Now, the tree's role as a bridge between realms would have been a common motif, and the ash tree's enduring nature makes it a fitting symbol for this idea. Okay, trees were seen as embodiments of the sacred, and the ash tree was no exception. It may have been seen as the tree of life, with its roots reaching into the underworld, its trunk in the middle world, and its branches reaching into the heavens. Now, the tree would have been viewed as a spiritual bridge, not only connecting the physical realms, but also serving as a vehicle for soul journeys. Now, as a sacred axis, the tree might also have been a site for shamanic rituals, where initiates would enter into trance states to communicate with the spirits and navigate between realms. From a logistics perspective, both the words Asker and Yggdrasil would have connected to older pre-Indo-Aryan roots. The word for ash in many ancient languages could be traced back to roots that imply endurance and immortality. Similarly, the word for horse or vehicle could have ties to older words used to describe spiritual guides or journeys. Now, Asker could be connected to the Proto-Indo-European root for ash tree, symbolizing endurance, strength, and life force. Yggdrasil's components, especially drossel, may have been connected to ancient words for mount or spiritual vehicle, reinforcing the idea of the journey between the worlds. Now, the pre-Indo-Aryan interpretation of Asker Yggdrasil centers on the ash tree as a sacred spiritual axis that connects the physical and spiritual realms. The tree serves as a conduit for life, death, and rebirth, while also symbolizing cosmic stability. In the context of pre-Indo-Aryan beliefs, this tree would have been revered as the center of the world, connecting humans with the divine and the forces of nature, and providing a means for spiritual journey and transformation. The pre-Indo-Aryan interpretation of the term Yager, which is YGGR, often associated with one of Odin's epithets in Old Norse, commonly interpreted as the Terrible One or the Fierce One, requires delving into ancient linguistic roots and cultural symbolism before the influence of the Indo-Aryan migration. Yager is a part of the name Yggdrasil, which translates to Odin's horse, or the horse of Yag, YGG. But the term itself is older than the Indo-European framework and has its origins in pre-Indo-Aryan linguistics and mythological traditions. The word Yager is often associated with the root Yag, which is YGG in Old Norse. It is important to note that Jaeger, YGGR, is primarily known as the epithet for Odin in Norse mythology, signifying the terrible one, the fierce, or the one who causes dread. The Jaeger epithet appears in several places in the poetic Eddas, such as in the Havamal, where Odin himself refers to his name, Jaeger, YGGR. However, from a pre-Indo-Aryan perspective, we would be looking at Jaeger as a part of a broader animistic or shamanistic tradition that predates the Indo-European migrations. This term could have a deeper and more primal meaning related to spiritual power or divine wrath rather than merely a terrifying warrior aspect. The term Jaeger, YGGR, could be understood through pre-Indo-Aryan culture contexts in several ways. In many pre-Indo-Aryan societies, spiritual leaders or shamans were associated with transformation and powerful forces that bridge the realms of the living and the dead. The Terrible One might have referred to a shamanic figure who was both feared and revered for their ability to connect with the spiritual and or underworld realms. Jaeger, YGGR, could be related to the concept of Yggdrasil, the world tree, as an entity that connects all realms, the heavens, earth, and the underworld. The Terrible One could be seen as a figure who embodies the fearsome force of the underworld or death. In pre-Indo-Aryan societies, the underworld or the realm of the dead was often associated with great mysteries and dangers, and such a figure would have been a mediator or guide in these realms. In many ancient traditions, gods of wrath were associated with the power of both to both create or destroy. The Terrible One may have been a deity of destruction, representing cosmic forces that maintain balance through cycles of death and rebirth. This connection could relate to the idea of the ash tree, which is tied to the world tree Yggdrasil, as something that both nourishes life and brings about destruction. The name Jaeger could have a connection to the divine masculine archetype in the pre-Indo-Aryan cultures. This would be a figure who embodies the primal forces of creation, death, and renewal, much like the sky god or father gods in many early cultures. This archetype would be associated with both the fierce aspects of nature and the nurturing role of sustaining life through the natural cycles. Looking at the word Jaeger through the lens of pre-Indo-Aryan linguistics, the word may have ties to earlier root words that could signify powerful, terrible, or fearsome. The root Jaeger or similar sounding roots could be related to terms that express the concept of terrible power or intense force. These might reflect a shamanic power that invokes fear in others or represents cosmic upheaval. In Indo-Aryan societies, death and the underworld were often associated with spiritual renewal. The figures who were feared in life could be seen as powerful in their connection to these realms. The term Jaeger may have embodied this paradox, an aspect of divinity that represents death, but also the potential of renewal and or transformation. Now, the figure associated with Jaeger, YGGR, could have been a priest king or shaman figure in pre-Indo-Aryan cultures, revered for their ability to mediate between worlds, the world of the living and the world of the dead. The name Jäger, YGGR, would carry connotations of a figure who was both terrifying and revered, one who could wield the power of life and death. In shamanistic cultures, the shaman or spiritual leader often went through rites of passage that involved symbolic death, whether through rituals of sacrifice or trance journeys, to access the underworld and return with knowledge. In this sense, the Jäger, YGGR, could refer to a shamanic journey to the realm of death, from which the individual would return with wisdom or power that could influence the living world. Now, in Norse mythology, Odin, as Jäger, YGGR, sacrifices himself by hanging from the world tree, Yggdrasil, to gain the knowledge of the runes. This sacrifice represents the ultimate shamanic journey in which the self is given over to the tree, which symbolizes the axis between the worlds. The fact that Odin is Jäger, YGGR, the terrible one, could reflect the terrifying nature of the journey, an initiation into cosmic knowledge that involves a confrontation with death, sacrifice, and the fearsome forces of the universe. The pre-Indo-Aryan interpretation of Jäger is complex and multifaceted. It connects to shamanic animistic traditions where the figure associated with this name would be a fearsome and revered spiritual figure who mediated between the realms of life and death. The term likely embodies the terrifying power of the forces of destruction, while also symbolizing the potential for transformation and rebirth. This interpretation aligns with broader pre-Indo-Aryan views of the cosmos as a dynamic, cyclical system governed by life, death, and spiritual transcendence. The pre-Indo-Aryan interpretation of the term Yagya, which is WGGIA, add the I before the A this time, if we take it as a variant of Yag, which is YGG, or as a related form, would require us to examine the term within the context of pre-Indo-European linguistics and cultural frameworks. Given that the exact word Yagya, YGGIA, isn't directly attested in Old Norse texts, but could be derived from similar terms, it's helpful to break down its possible meaning based on roots and cultural significance that would have existed before the Indo-European migrations. If we assume Yagya is a variant of Yag, YGG, the root Yag, YGG in Old Norse is most famously associated with Odin and is often interpreted as the terrible one or the fierce one. It's the first part of the compound Yggdrasil, the world tree, which is Odin's horse. Okay? The root itself is associated with cosmic power, fear, and the underworld. This would imply that Yagya could carry similar connotations with divine force, and that's Yagya, YGGIA. It would carry similar connotations of divine force, spiritual intensity, and cosmic significance. The pre-Indo-Aryan interpretation of Yagya would need to focus on animistic shamanistic and spiritual meanings that were present in cultures before the spread of Indo-European languages. The root yog, YGG, is often interpreted as embodying fierce, destructive, or fearsome powers. The pre-Indo-Aryan societies where spiritual power was often closely tied to death, rebirth, and the cosmos. Yagia might refer to a divine figure or fierce association with the fearsome aspects of nature. This figure would likely be connected to transcendence and sacrifice, representing the force that brings both destruction and creativity. Many pre-Indo-Aryan cultures held the belief that spiritual leaders or shamans could access the underworld or other realms through rituals of transformation. If Yagia was linked to this tradition, it could refer to a shamanic force or a divine intermediary who undertakes a journey to the other world, confronting death or the spirits of the underworld to gain knowledge or power. The concept of fear and death in this context would not only symbolize destruction, but also the power of renewal. So if Yagia, YGGIA, is associated with the world tree or Yggdrasil, then it could represent the central axis that connects all realms, the heavens, earth, and the underworld. The world tree in many traditions serves as the axis around which the cosmos revolves, and figures associated with it, like Odin, are those who mediate between these realms. In pre-Indo-Aryan terms, Yagia, YGGIA, could refer to the spiritual force that brings these worlds, that bridges these worlds, maintaining cosmic order and facilitating the cycle of life and death. In the pre-Indo-Aryan worldview, there was often a deep connection between cosmic balance and the cycle of life and death. Yagia could represent a divine figure who maintains this balance through sacrifice, a process that involves both death and rebirth. The concept of sacrifice was prevalent in many ancient traditions, and a figure like Yagia might symbolize the necessity of self-sacrifice for the greater cosmic good, allowing for the continued flow of life, death, and transformation. In terms of linguistics, Yagia might derive from the same Proto-Indo-European roots that underlie the term Yog, YGG. While Proto-Indo-European is not directly related to pre-Indo-Aryan languages, the linguistic roots in the pre-Indo-Aryan context could focus on the concept of primal force, spiritual power, and the balance of opposites: life, death, creation, destruction. This aligns with the role of divine figures in these traditions, who are often associated with maintaining the cosmic balance. The pre-Indo-Aryan interpretation of Yagia might also draw parallels to other ancient mythologies that have gods or spiritual figures associated with life, death, and cosmic cycles. In some shamanic traditions, the underworld is not just a place of death, but also a place of transformation and spiritual renewal. The figure of Yagia, YGGIA, might represent the transcendence of death or the convergence of the physical and spiritual worlds. Sacrificial deities or spiritual guides in pre-Indo-Aryan cultures were often connected to the axis mundi, the world tree or cosmic pillar, where they were they would guide souls or maintain balance between the realms. If Yagia is indeed related to the world tree, it would represent not only a cosmic connection, but also the primal energy that sustains the universe. In pre-Indo-Aryan cosmologies, the world tree is central to the universe's order and may embody both the terrestrial and celestial realms or elements of existence. Yagia could thus represent the sacred power that sustains this order. The association with Yagia with a shamanic journey to the underworld would be central to its role in pre-Indo-Aryan spiritual traditions. It could symbolize the spiritual guide who, through their connection with the cosmic forces, is able to cross boundaries and return with knowledge of power to the living. That was pretty good. Now, in pre-Indo-Aryan interpretations of Yagia, the pre-Indo-Aryan interpretation of Yagia likely ties into themes of divine power, sacrifice, cosmic balance, and shamanic transformation. It would be understood as a figure force embodying the terrible or fierce aspects of the cosmos associated with life, death, and rebirth, as well as a mediator between the worlds. The figure of Yagia would embody the deep primal spiritual forces that were central to pre-Indo-Aryan beliefs about the universe and the cycles of existence. Okay, so after that, what I do want to do is go into the interpretation of Igzwa. Now that is spelled Igwja, and we will cover that here in a minute. What I want to do is step away. I'm going to put on a song and come back with with the second part to this. But what I want to do is I need to go to the bathroom real quick, and that gets a little complicated. So here you go. This one is just Mr. Robot saying, "Let the good times roll."
Yeah, everybody, let's have some fun. You only live but once, and when you're dead, you're done. So let the good time roll. I say let the good time roll. I don't care if you're young or old. You ought to get together and let the good time roll. Come on, honey, let the good time roll.
let the good time roll. Come on, honey, let the good time roll. Come on, honey, let the good time roll.
Okay, I am back. Yeah, Mr. Robot, he's on a roll. He's been coming out with some good stuff. Like I said, if you guys want to check him out, you can find him on Rumble. He goes by Columinati. You can also check him out on Elements, the Elements Matrix chat. He has a lot of groups there. He's also a part of ours, which is uh, the Wonderful World of Weirdness and Live with Roger Hanson. So you guys can check him out there. If you want to find out how to get to that, you can just go to my X profile, which is Roger Hanson at ROGLOL1973. Click on the link in my About section, and it will take you there. So, with that being said, I will get back to the readings. The reason why I had to take the break, to be honest with you, is because my throat was starting to get a little bit hoarse, and I needed to get something to drink to kind of quench that. So I went in there and I had no coffee, and I had to get a soda instead, which there's no comparison. That's just horrible. Which, don't get me wrong, I like soda too, but it's nothing compared to coffee. Coffee is the elixir of life. So I went through and I checked all of the chats. We have nothing on chat except for somebody trying to solicit for more views, and that's not going to happen. So with that, I could go ahead and continue with the readings. I left off on going into getting into discussing the word Igwija, which is spelled Igwja, and I guarantee you I am messing that word up. Igzwa. But that's how I perceive it. The word Igzwa, it might resemble certain Proto-Indo-European roots or forms that could be found in pre-Indo-Aryan languages, particularly in the context of spiritual, natural, or cosmic forces. While we don't have direct records of pre-Indo-Aryan languages, there are certain common linguistic patterns and concepts that are believed to have been shared across ancient cultures in the Eurasian steppes and surrounding regions. Ig, would be linked to terms associated with spiritual force, power, or vital energy. In some linguistics reconstructions, the word ig, or similar phonemes could be tied to the concept of fire, light, or life force. In a pre-Indo-Aryan context, this might relate to a divine or cosmic force that gives life or sustains existence. The ending Waja or Waja, WJA, or just Ja, JA, could signify a concept of motion, change, or movement, common in many ancient languages to denote a dynamic process or force. It might be linked to the concept of transformation or passage, a journey or cycle which is central in many early belief systems that involve spiritual or cosmic transitions. Given these phonetic considerations, Ixwa could potentially refer to a cosmic force or spiritual energy that plays a central role in the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. In pre-Indo-Aryan traditions, this force would likely be associated with natural elements like fire, light, or energy, all of which are seen as foundational to existence. The root ig, or something similar, in many ancient traditions often refers to a life-giving force or spiritual energy. For instance, in shamanic cultures, there is often a belief in a vital force that animates all living things. Ixwa might represent this force that flows through the world, sustaining both life and death. The suffix "zwa", which is WJA, could symbolize the process of transformation or movement between realms. In pre-Indo-Aryan cosmologies, the journey between the physical and spiritual realms is often marked by the crossing of boundaries, whether through death, shamanic rites, or other forms of spiritual passage. Ixwa could represent a force or being that facilitates or embodies this transformative process. In many pre-Indo-Aryan cultures, cosmic forces were believed to be represented by deities, spirits, or natural elements that had the power to affect both the material and spiritual worlds. Ixwa could be understood as a representation of one of these forces, perhaps associated with the sun, the moon, or the underworld, depending on the specific cultural context. This would align with the idea of a force that governs the cycle of creation and destruction, much like the concept of the world tree or axis mundi in later Indo-European traditions. In many early cultures, fire is not only a physical element, but also a spiritual symbol. It represents both creation and destruction. The association of Ig with fire or light would align with the pre-Indo-Aryan belief in the purifying and transformative powers of fire. The idea of spiritual transformation and the passage between worlds could be central to the meaning of Ixwa. In pre-Indo-Aryan traditions, shamans were often seen as mediators between the human world and the spiritual world. Ixwa might represent a shamanic journey or a cosmic force that facilitates these transitions. In many ancient cosmologies, natural phenomena such as storms, lightning, sunrise, and sunset were seen as manifestations of divine or spiritual forces. If Ixwa is linked to these elements, it could be interpreted as a force of change, power, or transformation that is both present and in the natural world and in the spiritual realm. In a pre-Indo-Aryan context, Ixwa could be understood as a cosmic or spiritual force that embodies vital energy, transformation, and movement. It might represent a divine force or spiritual intermediary that facilitates the passage between different realms, whether between life and death, the physical and spiritual worlds, or the cycles of the cosmos. This interpretation would align with the broader shamanic, animistic, and spiritual traditions of early cultures, where forces of nature and spirit were closely intertwined. The term der, which is DHER, in the context of pre-Indo-Aryan linguistics would likely have roots in early languages and cultures predating the Indo-Aryan language family. While there isn't a direct or established record of der, DHER, in known pre-Indo-Aryan texts, we can attempt to infer its meaning by examining possible phonetic roots, cultural context, and spiritual significance. Der could be seen as related to early linguistic forms that carry connotations of stability, firmness, or holding. In several early Indo-European languages, similar sounding roots have meanings associated with strength, support, and grounding. Der, DHER, could be connected to Proto-Indo-European words like der, DHER, at the beginning. This is just der, but der at the beginning, which could have been constructed to mean to hold, to support, or to sustain. These roots are often linked to physical stability or spiritual grounding. Another possible root is deru, DHERU, meaning to make firm or to endure, which would tie into the idea of strength or resilience in pre-Indo-Aryan cosmologies. Given these phonetic and semantic connections, we can interpret der in several ways within the framework of pre-Indo-Aryan languages. Der might have symbolized something that provided support or stability, like the earth or ground. In many ancient cosmologies, the earth is often personified as a foundational support for all life and existence, both physically and spiritually. Der, DHER, could refer to grounding force, a supporting entity, or even a divine force that holds the world together. The concept of strength and endurance is prevalent in early spiritual traditions, especially in relation to the earth, mountains, or cosmic entities that endure through cycles of creation and destruction. In this sense, der could represent the force of resilience, an entity that withstands challenges and provides continuity over time. It might also relate to cosmic order, where such forces are needed to maintain balance in the universe. Der, DHER, could have been used in the context of divine or cosmic support. In early cultures, the divine forces often manifest in natural elements like the earth, sky, or waters, which were believed to hold or sustain life. Der could have been associated with cosmic or spiritual force that upholds the heavens or supports the cycle of life and death. In many ancient traditions, rooting or being grounded in the earth was seen as a way of connecting to the spiritual realm. Der could symbolize this rootedness, whether it was a physical connection to the earth or a deeper spiritual connection to the underworld or ancestral realms. This could also be connected to the idea of divine fertility, where the earth is seen as a source of life and spiritual growth. In early spiritual systems, der could be tied to the practice of shamanism, where the shaman could descend into the underworld could descend into the underworld to seek wisdom or healing. The Earth and its foundational entities were often seen as a portal or medium through which one could access other realms of existence. Der might then symbolize this earthly connection with which serves as both a physical and spiritual foundation for those who seek to communicate with the divine or ancestors. Similar to the concept of the axis mundi or world tree, Der could also represent the cosmic axis that connects different realms, such as the heavens, earth, and underworld. This would tie it to the notion of stability and balance, where where forces of creation and destruction are harmonized by the central support of grounding principles. The Sanskrit root Dhr, Dhr, means to hold, to sustain, to support, which is very close to the meaning inferred from Dher or Der, Dher. This connection suggests that the term may have carried similar connotations in the pre-Indo-Aryan linguistic context as it does in later Indo-Aryan traditions. This could reinforce the idea that Dhr, Dher, representing something foundational, supporting, and enduring. The Proto-Indo-European root Dhr, Dher, is often associated with physical or spiritual stability, and it shows up in many Indo-European languages in words related to endurance, firmness, and holding. This suggests that the term Dhr, Dher, could have had a deep primal significance for early cultures, presenting something that supports the cosmic order or earthly stability. In pre-Indo-Aryan context, Dhr, Dher, likely refers to something that provided stability, support, and strength, both physically and spiritually. It could symbolize the earth, cosmic forces, or divine energies that sustain and uphold the world. The term is closely tied to concepts of grounding, resilience, and endurance, which are foundational to early belief systems and cosmologies. This interpretation aligns with broader shamanic and animistic worldviews, where natural forces and elements were seen as living spiritual entities that maintain balance and harmony in the cosmos. So this was actually pretty good. I'm hoping that I am doing all right on this. I believe I will stop it here and continue later on, because the next topic I'm going to go into, I'm going to dive deeper into the topic of the Turl, which is Turl. Now, the Turl is where we start. Well, we've discussed the Yggdrasil. We've also discussed the symbolism with Dur and the Igwa. But now we're going to start talking about the Turl, and that is the mythical bird, which is in Hungarian folklore. Now we've been talking about the Nords, which is cool, and I love talking about the Nords, don't get me wrong, but there's more to it. There's always more to it. This is Indo-European, Indo-Aryan linguistics, and believe it or not, the Hungarians are thick into it. You know what I mean? That's where a lot of the stuff goes into. The Hungarians, the Romanians, and that area right there, as well as the Germanic the Germanic and the Nordic. It's all interconnected, and then you have the Russian steppe. So I'm probably not going to be able to like get into all of the stuff that pertains to Indo-European linguistics, but I will do my damnedest at doing it. And the next one is going to be about the turtle. It's going to be about the mythical bird that is supposed to be, or birds. I believe there might be more than one. I'm not quite sure. I have to go back over that. But it holds significance because these are the birds that are on the world tree. And it's a very important part of it. The symbolism and everything, has to do with eagles and falcons. I've always talked about there's a connection with a lot of these religions and belief systems that connects the serpent with the bird, and you'll see it all over the world in different cultures, in different civilizations, and there's a reason for that. So this is where I want to get into that, and hopefully I don't make it too boring for you guys. If you're into stuff like this, then this is good stuff. But if you're not really into this, I apologize. I understand if you don't want to watch it or listen to it, but I hope you do. This is very, very good stuff. This is stuff that I was eventually led to because of my love for ancient history. To be honest, this is the gold nugget. You know what I mean? The cream on the crop. The cream of the crop is how you're supposed to say that, I guess. But this is it. After this, you go back into prehistory and you start talking about how cavemen used to, kill animals and stuff. Yeah, and if they committed murder and things of that nature, which is cool too. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a part of history. So. With that being said, I'm going to check the chats and see if there's anybody there. Rusiris started following me on Beam Stream. Thank you for the follow. I understand, or I appreciate that. I believe that was on Beam Stream. If it wasn't, it was on Kick. I can check that. Yeah, it's not that. It is on Beam. Thank you for the follow. Thanks for everybody who has watched the stream. I do appreciate that. It doesn't look like we have anybody who has made any comments. So, Mr. Nice said, love the light from London. Oh, love and light from London, UK. An awesome channel. Thank you, Mr. Nice. I appreciate that. Thank you for leaving a comment on YouTube. That's very appreciative. Thank you for stopping by. And again, I'd like to also point towards Dragus Production. If you guys want to listen to some pretty good content, check them out. They have their show going on tonight. There's actually 3 of them. There's Censorship Sucks, which is going on right now, I believe. And then there's Paranormal Investigation, which a guy by the name of Jack does. I like his stuff. He's got some good stuff. Check him out. That should be going on here in a little bit. And then you have Vixen's Vault, which is also another good show that they do, and they do it back to back tonight. Censorship Sucks is also on Sunday nights if you guys want to check that out. And you can find them on Rumble. You can find them on DLive, Twitch, as well as Kick. And just so you know, Dragus Production is also streamed on radio. So you can check them out on the radio too. So good shows. Um, that was me giving a plug for my buddy Mark, because you know he does support me a lot on these shows. If you guys have the chance to go in and show some appreciation to him, do that. He's a pretty good guy. So with that being said, I am done giving out plugs. I am done with the show, and I am sick of talking, dude. I ran out of coffee too. How the hell does a guy like me run out of coffee? It shouldn't even be happening. So, with that being said, you can check me out on Rumble, Beam, X, DLive, Twitch, Kick, and YouTube as well, for the wonderful world of weirdness. And on YouTube, I also have a channel called Strange Stories. Check that out as well. If you stop by, like, subscribe, make a comment, all that good stuff, like everybody's supposed to tell you at the end of the show. But I do want to tell you, and I said it yesterday too on another stream, it's important to leave comments. For one thing, I love to have conversations in the comment section, not just the streaming, but like in the actual comment section. I love doing that. And for another thing, for anybody out there who is streamers, okay, you need to understand that activity, okay, channel activity is just as important as your algorithms. So if you have friends who actually watch your streams, then you need to encourage them to have actual conversations in the comment section, because that shows the platform like YouTube or Rumble or DLive or any of them that you're actually running an active channel, okay? And your active channel is going to get more attention than a channel that doesn't get very much activity whatsoever. So it's very important to get into that comment section and start having a conversation with people who make comments with you. Even if it's just thank you, make a comment in response to anybody who makes a comment on your section, and encourage them to do it, because it's very important. It's just as important as paying attention to the algorithms, if you ask me. So I just wanted to say that to make it an even hour and 45 minutes. I'm petty like that. Okay? I'm so freaking petty. But with that being said, thanks for watching, guys. I am going to end the stream now.